So here we are with Super Mario Bros. 35, which launched in Japan last night and internationally on all of the eShop regions just within the past few hours. It is, to my knowledge, the kind of anniversary special analog to Tetris 99. You play the levels, you survive, you attack other players. I guess we'll just have to learn by doing. We've watched a little bit of this on other streams previously, so I'm not going into this 100% blind, but there's a lot to discover about it, and I think we'll just have to step in and try it. Okay, I consent. And yeah, it looks like we start with nothing. I'm just going to say surprise me, not that I have any kind of randomization options to work with here. I wasn't sure what was going on just yet with the item box on the right side. But yeah, it seems like there's going to be some kind of unlockable sequence here in terms of finding out what the meta level loadout you're going to take in with you is going to be in terms of the course selection and perhaps even power-up selection. So, as with Tetris 99, we see the right stack being used for attacks. Okay, let's not die to the first Goomba. That would be a hideous embarrassment. Yeah, we're just going to stay on random for now. I believe that when you have a lot of people on the field, as in Tetris 99, you tend to get more finishers that way than by deliberately targeting, at least right from the start. I see that I have only a couple of seconds on the clock, actually, and that I add to it by, well, killing the Goombas. Pretty low on the clock all around, though, so yeah, it looks like I add 20 seconds with the course completion. The coins don't really do anything for me except add my bank of coins working towards the power-up slot in the bottom there. Looks like I do want to chain some of the Goomba kills. Just in order to get more points. Let's try to chain this with a Koopa Shell. Whoops. Follow it along. Oop. Add time for a Goomba to fall on my head. Still alive, though, with over 110 seconds on the clock now. Let's, okay, get a bit of a health buffer here. I was hoping for more continuous stomping. Piranha plants here are going to be an issue. Oh, we are gone. Okay, 9 players remaining. That's not horrid. And we've got a bit of initial quest completion. Okay, just the first run. Not going to get too distressed about our placement there. And straight up to level 9. That went rather quickly. Ah, okay, so it finishes rank number 11. Yeah, because the game keeps on going if you want to observe and spectate, I see. And so you still have the top 7 slots left undetermined. And so this is what the observer mode is like. Okay, so just getting warmed up then. As with Tetris 99, we'll just hold down the A button, get right back into it. Looks like we unlocked 1-2 probably just by virtue of making it there. Surprise me. Yeah, I see. So it looks like you amass a certain bank of coins that you can put into probably an initial item that you get off the item block to the right side. There's a lot of that stuff that we'll just have to work out on the go, I think. Yeah, it didn't really wind up using the attacking stick. The field actually thinned out much quicker than I expected it to, just given my experience with Tetris 99 being the baseline for my expectations when it comes to this kind of thing. We didn't check, also, what the 1-up in the usual location does, or indeed going underground in the usual location. Okay, it looks like it gets me 20 coins right there for something like an item. I feel like I should bank that for when it's actually necessary, and to just always have at least one item going at all times. One thing I didn't go for also is the star, or not the star, the, you know what I mean. the flower. Sort of interesting to try these mechanics as well and see how they're not really quite the same as the SMB1 physics, obviously. Bouncing off enemies in particular is slightly different. Whoops. But I'm not really sure about the jump arcs and momentum and how close they are to the original game. That's something that is always going to feel a little off coming from tons of Mario Maker. Something that throws me off whenever I return to the classics. Okay, let's chain and build up time. Also, I don't know if there's any particular benefit to trying to head up to the typical warp zone locations. Wow, being a bit sloppy all over. We have multiple attackers, I'm just going to try to deflect back to them. Oh, there we go. Yeah, the bounce off the enemies for chaining jumps is slightly altered. It doesn't quite feel like Mario Maker, but it definitely doesn't feel like SMB1, and so that's going to take a lot of adjustment on its own. Hey, Electro Dude. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, still learning this very early in the stages of just getting accustomed to this game and not doing very well at all, obviously, but we'll see how quickly we can understand it. Okay, surprise me. Yeah, there's a lot going on here to process. Very different kind of pacing compared to Tetris 99 in terms of what it escalates. I finished kind of on the bottom half of the previous stack though, so that was not great. Looks closer to SMB2 Jade than SMB physics-wise. Yeah, there's a lot that's different here, but in a way that I can't place very specifically just yet. So we'll have to see. So yeah, so far I've learned that the 1-up in the usual location does give me 20 coins. One person attacking me already. I also passed a pipe. I don't know if there's any particular advantage to taking the pipe to the end of the level. Yeah, you see how high a bounce you get. Very, very different. It's not quite like the Maker bounce, though. It's not the new soup mechanics by any means. And it certainly looks like taking advantage of chaining jumps in ways that you couldn't really do in the original game is really part of the key here. Chaining the shell as well. And yeah, that puts me above 100 seconds. Like I said, I was watching a few streamers play this earlier, so I am aware the clock caps out at around 400. Must be interesting from the perspective of balance design, just to work out what those numbers should be. Okay. As with Tetris, it seems like taking advantage of some of the stacks that are sent my way is something that I should be doing, and that if people are attacking me, I should clear everything I can. Let's clear these guys out. I do have enough money banked up for power-up. I don't really want to spend that just yet. Okay. Dodging that shell is rather important. Yeah, not really fitting into the one-tile gaps here for the consecutive jumps, but... bad idea. Looks like there's a whole stack of them in there. Whoops. Should have just done the slide under. Yeah, it looks like I shouldn't be too calm about time when it comes to how much of a budget I have left at the end of all this. I'd better grab that power-up just for insurance here. Oh, okay, star. Yeah, I'll take it. Gladly take it. Okay. Yeah, it's sort of different in terms of the skill set that this is rewarding when it comes to how you play Mario. Yeah, I don't remember how the bounce mechanics actually played in the original NES build, or Famicom build, I guess, of Lost Levels. So I don't really have a good point of comparison. I should probably go to the Switch Online port of Lost Levels, which I think is in there. actually take a look at that. But yeah, very significant jump. And, okay, that's gonna be a... Whoops. Not what I wanted at all, but I'll take it. And this just refreshes. That's something else you'll have to get used to coming in from Mario Maker, is that it's not like you just respawn with a state preserved of the blocks that you've broken along the way. It is like playing the level up fresh. Not like coming in through a reset door. You have to get rid of all that old reset door logic. How am I in 4th place? I didn't think I was doing that well. This has felt like a really calm experience, actually. Alice of Zero, you think the physics are pretty close? I don't know, because I was actually poking around with SMB1 a little bit last night, and it's a huge adjustment coming in from Maker in particular, because Maker uses NSMBU. But the bounces here are very, very different. Like the enemy bounce, like this. You don't get that ever in SMB1. Okay. I think drawing the star earlier was actually a huge boon for me. Okay. Taking a hit was unnecessary. Let's just grab a power-up here, just for safety. It looks like I get more points off jumps than I do from flowers. What happens if I try to bust my way to the warp zone? Let's see. Yeah, this rewards a very different kind of playstyle than what people typically associate with expert-level Mario play, given that much of an expert community tends to consist of people who are speedrunning. Okay, we've got a bit of a different level selection at this point. 3 left. I've got 2 opponents, I think. Whoops. Oh, that's a way to go. That's a way to go. Yeah, but I think the warp zone's selection maybe depends on the levels that have been unlocked by the other players. That's what I would think, because we have a pretty limited selection within World 1 and 2 right now, but clearly you have enough bricks on the selection screen to unlock the entire game, all the way up to 8-4. Anyway, that was a pretty embarrassing way to lose that one, but that's okay. I was quite surprised I made it all the way to 3rd place, given that, as I said, it felt like a really relaxed experience up to that point. Okay, it surprised me. Sometimes it uses duplicate levels, I see, okay. And yeah, Electro Dude, you were saying earlier too that you were making a level? Yeah, looks like it's been some time, but now that you've gotten the Splatoon X rank climb out of your system, for the time being, I suppose it's the only way to go. Also, I've only really begun to notice the meter on the bottom that tells you where the Goombas are approaching. I hadn't been paying attention to that at all, actually, when it comes to where everything is spawning in. Also, the camera scroll is slightly different. I do know for a fact from having tried it recently that in SMB1 originally you can get the 1-up and take the pipe to the end, that the spacing does allow you to do that. And here the camera scroll actually seems to take you forward a little bit earlier if you go for the 1-up. So there is something a little bit different about the camera logic that is very subtle. Okay. Getting warmed up here. And yeah, I definitely should prefer jumps over the Fire Flower whenever I can. Not exactly an infinite 1-up trick stare here, but... Okay. Oh, Electro Dude, what kind of contest? It must be on the contest Discord that you had shown me. I should really get a little more involved in making again. I haven't been doing much in the editor since the end of 4YMM. I've just been, well, doing a couple of mechanical experiments here and there, but not really any serious level design. We should, once again, chain to Koopa as much as possible. Grab the coins as much as possible. let's actually break this out. Grab the coin over here. I mean, I should probably be going for kills there instead of skipping around, but... nope, bad idea. Okay, good idea. Hey, let's actually clear 1-2 to standard way without warp zones for the first time in eternity. Okay, so still 11 players left. Yeah, the field thins out very quickly compared to Tetris 99, but it also feels quite relaxed as you get into endgame compared to Tetris 99, in that with Tetris 99 you can really feel it pick up by the time you get into the final 10 or 20. And partly that's just from the way that Tetris picks up naturally in terms of its pacing, but... here, yeah, very different. Very, very different. Okay. Ah, there we go. There's my friend. And sure, let's just nuke everything we can. I should have actually gone for some KOs. Now, I don't really know what the KO system does here. In Tetris 99, it amplifies your power, where the more players you finish off, the more of a multiplier there is on your attacks. I don't know if it works the same way here, or what the indicator would be. I think the coins on top of the surviving players are probably just an indication of what their coin bank is. Maybe it's multiples of 20. But I could be wrong about that. Okay. Time is in a decent state here, I think. Should have actually kicked one of those shells. And, yeah, Al, if I saw that you said something about the strat, gotta keep my eyes on the level for the moment. I'll read that at the end. Or if I'm having a gentle transition between levels somewhere. Yeah, down to the final 6 already. You see, here's the thing, is that I don't have any kind of decent estimate. Oh, whoops. That's how it goes. I don't really have any kind of decent estimate of my Mario skill at all sometimes. Because I lose to things like that, first of all. Not even to getting hit, but just to randomly falling. Okay, surprise me. Anyway, you were saying grind points and have a timer at over 300, try to stall at 1-1 and 1-2. Yeah, I guess so, because at least the playing field is fairly simple to play around. If people are just spawning in enemies and you just farm them for more time, right? But, yeah, I guess especially at 1-2 gives you the warp zone to just go back to 1-1. It's going to kick me out. Let's see if it actually lets me back in. Sure, let's change the icon while we can, if it is actually going to connect. And am I still connected? I'm not connected in-game, but I think I am connected on stream, right? So just give me a sec to see if I can troubleshoot my Switch. Yeah, it looks connected, actually, on my end, in terms of Wi-Fi having a response, and the stream is up and running, though, right? So, I think it's just Nintendo being Nintendo. Okay. Yeah, considering that online was practically unplayable for me in Smash and in Maker 2, actually, although I haven't tried it since recently getting a much better connection with a much faster ping, but considering that Nintendo's online can be notoriously spotty with those games, it's pretty smooth here, but I think that's because, as with Tetris 99 and as with Mario Kart, there's a kind of limited dependency on the actions of other players, and that is not totally deterministic anyway, right? That the server can play a little bit of catch-up, if you know what I'm getting at in a very non-technical sense. So, because you don't need it to be kind of totally deterministic and synchronous, you don't have one poor connection lagging everybody else. Whereas you do kind of have that in Maker 2 just because of the way that players are interacting with each other. Okay, let's just farm time. Okay. Not quite up to the hundreds yet, but yeah, it looks like your flag positioning probably does affect the amount of time that you have going in. One interesting thing about replaying these games in Nintendo Switch Online is that because of the save states, I've actually been using the save states to preserve high scores. In that it's kind of like just leaving the game on forever, and so for once your arcade board is actually persistent. And in some ways I'm paying attention to scores in a way that I'm not otherwise. Of course, a very different kind of metagame that we're dealing with here in that... Whoops. It is, we better spend some coins. Yeah, a very different kind of metagame here, of course, in that it is not about speedrunning, it is also not about just score for the sake of score, but it does reward things like consecutive bounces. It does reward, of course, amassing some coins as a bit of power-up insurance, as long as you don't keep dying by stumbling into pits like I do. Okay. A fire flower here. Whoops. That's fine. We'll just clear and go on to 1-3. Yeah, over time I would like to unlock as much of the game as I can. I think it's going to become kind of strategically interesting as you get deeper into it. Anyway, somebody's got me Bowser already. Bowser seems fairly easy to take out here, but it's not like in any of the standard castles in SMB1 that you actually get to kick a shell towards him, so that's a good interaction to know, that the shell kick it does wonders for you here. And, okay. Let's continue. But yeah, and you can always tell, too, with both Tetris 99 in this game, that the synchronization often does a little bit of catch-up, especially when you see a ranking at the end, that your official ranking doesn't necessarily reflect the number that you're looking at when you get knocked out. Simply because of the way that, you know, people are finishing at about the same time and how that priority is being recognized and calculated on the server side. But I don't know much about implementing netcode for a game like this, so I can't really speak on that much further. Might as well grab it. Now, I do know that as you get low on time into sudden death between the remaining players, that there is a bit of acceleration to the clock, actually a lot of acceleration, so I am expecting that, but I haven't gotten far enough to really play around it, given that I previously had a record finish of 3rd place. Okay, fine. Yeah, when it's Goombas like that, I should probably just go for bounces whenever possible. Way more points that way. Sure, whip zone. 1-4-1-1. Let's just stay safe and not worry too much about pits. Hey, look at that progressive power-up. That's one of those things that has to be original to this game. Of course, it would just be a situation that never comes up in the original. Okay. Oh yeah, next pipe. Here. Might as well amass some coins. I guess that's what this is good for, if you are in a situation where you are more worried about coins than time. Right now, I think I'm probably more worried about time, though. Okay. And yeah, it's not going to go in a deterministic order here either. It's just going to take me to 1-4 directly. I don't know how it determines that. But... yeah. Now... I don't know if the strategy here should be to go most coins. It's kind of like I'm having a one-on-one duel with the other guy who's sitting on 5 coin markers here. Oh, whoops. Totally forgot about that block. Let's grab something here quickly. Okay. That's a lot of housing. Oh, I was trying to get on the Koopa Shell and I just kept missing because I was trying to get the Koopa Shell for the Bowser clears and prioritizing that over getting the axe, which was probably the wrong approach. But I was kind of in an attacking mentality at that point, and that's how things happen. Anyway, Aleph, you're saying getting Fire Flowers when you're already Fire Mario gives you 15 on a clock. Okay, I did not know that. And that's important to know. That's a nice little balancing decision, actually. I like the way this is tuned so far. It is a very relaxed endgame in some ways. It really does thin out quickly, and maybe we'll, yeah, we'll just go on. Okay, surprise me. Once again, would like to play this further until we get more unlocks, and more importantly, maybe get a win in there somewhere, but it's one of those things where I feel like I'm still very much in the learning phase. And yeah, I guess if the course selection is an initial rotation between the preferences of the players who are in the game, you would have a lot of 1-1 starts for the time being while the game is still young, but then that's something that might change. But look at that KO, poor KO 35 right there. Okay. We should prioritize time while the clock is low. Okay. Whoa, whoa, no. Scrolled the camera a little too aggressively. Instead of grabbing that flower like we should have. Okay. Yeah, prioritizing killing with the star over getting the flower that's up top here, but we'll see if that's actually the right decision. We'll have a flower right here anyway, so not too big a deal. And... okay. Yeah, something about the camera scrolling threshold is subtly different. It's very difficult difference to pick out unless you're very attentive to it. And for the most part, it's not going to matter, but it's one of those things that, you know, really does encourage you to just think in left to right terms as much as possible. Okay. What else have we got here? Yeah, as you were saying, can add time with redundant power-ups. Yeah, grab this guy as before. Don't really want to get down to that Koopa Shell here. Fine, we'll do it. Let's maybe face in the right direction from time to time. That seems important. And yeah, should be doing more jumps and less shots. Fewer shots. Just to, oops. Probably not worth the time delay here in terms of going for the flower. That's fine, yeah. No, wasted too much time on that. Sure. I vote for this guy. Okay, next. Yeah. Yeah, kind of surprised how low the clock is actually at this point in the game. And it might just be me, and that maybe the players in this group that are doing a lot better are amassing quite a lot more time to work with. so they can actually win in the sudden death finish. But oh, bloopers. Okay. Yeah, we better just score some kills. Yeah, still don't really understand the meter telling you when the enemies are incoming on the bottom level. It's going to tell me about a blooper. Oh, I see. It's just going to tell me about the standard enemies that are built into the level as distinct from the ones that are not. Yeah, one thing that was definitely a bit of an adjustment coming back into this game from so much Mario Maker is just that the interactions with things like Cheep Cheeps are different on the surface. Can't just jump Cheep Cheeps everywhere. There's a lot of stuff that I used to know cold about SMB1 that I totally just took for granted, and which, you know, when you play a lot of Mario Maker, you realize how much it actually distorts your memory of how the games play, including your muscle memory. Okay, we really do need to stock time here, or I'm going to be in fairly big trouble. Okay. Really should just speed through this a little further. 1-up is going to help if it's going to give me a 20. That should give me a 15. There we go. Yeah, running a bit tight as I get into the final 3 once again, 3 being my best placement so far. But not really helping me here. Not going to have any 1-up tricks here either. Also, for the paratroopers, you only get points off the first bounce. Once you send them to the ground, you don't get additional points by the looks of it. Okay, final 2. I am way down on time. Oh, once again, scrolled a little too far. I think that's too far even in the original, so shouldn't have been making any... Okay. Okay. Really should just spam power-ups at that point. Yeah. Looks like we were down to the final 2. And, oh wow. Yeah. Not really sure what kind of situation my opponent was in terms of time. I don't know if there's a way to read that, but I was tracking quite a lot of information on screen at once. Audio is gone. Thank you. That is... yeah, something I'll reset quickly before we go into the next match. It doesn't happen too often nowadays, but it is a sort of long-running glitch with OBS, and I just updated OBS's software as well, so just one moment while I try to fix it up. And yeah, just need to reset my Switch quickly. Okay, should be back now. Yeah, it is some kind of CPU throttling that happens, and actually kind of difficult to deal with often. But anyway, here we are. Back in. I certainly hope so anyway. Clear 30 courses. Yeah, we'll get to that. That's going to be soon. I guess we haven't really been using the starting coin for the initial power-up as well. I don't know how much help that would be, but... Also shows you the person who KO'd you, if I understand the KO indicator correctly. But yeah, you can start with a star, a mushroom, etc. I feel like I should not be too greedy about that until we've maybe built up a better base of knowledge to work with in this game. You know, really save up those power-ups for when we have a better grasp of when to use them and how to use them. Yeah, audio should definitely be back. At least it looks like that on my side. So thank you for alerting me to that anyway, Olive Sub-Zero. Always good to have extra set of ears on that. Because, yeah, I mean, I can't always tell that on my end. Yeah, it looks like the meter does tell you the standard enemies rather than the Tetris garbage enemies. That's what is being indicated here. Oops. Okay. Oh, that was not great. Yeah, sure, I can amass some coins, given that I'll probably want to stomp the Koopa on the wrong side anyway. I was hoping to send that sailing to the right. That did not go as planned. Okay. Amassed a modest amount of time there, getting into this stage with a little under 80 seconds. I've definitely done better. Okay. Always keep forgetting about that shell deflection that comes back off the edge of the screen. That seems unfamiliar, or at least unexpected. That's also something that's a little unorthodox in terms of sending the Koopa shell bouncing back and forth. Okay. The shell kicks really do quite a lot to amass time here, and that's something that we should keep in mind whenever possible. Also, getting a high bounce off the Goomba into the Fire Flower, that's somewhat unique to this game. Yeah, not that starved for coins at this point, so I should be a lot more worried about the clock. Whoops, missed a 1-up. However, you can get a really high bounce up top, as I was saying. I think that extra 20 seconds is going to do quite a fair bit for us here. Okay, just more consecutive bounces are always helpful. Whoa. Bit of camera wiggle there. Throwing me off slightly. And yeah, in squared, it's a pretty big change. But also one that, of course, I'm a bit more accustomed to from just playing so much Mario Maker. I mean, it's a bit of a shock to not have it every time I go back to SMB1. Okay. Now, can I actually stomp bloopers in this style? Yes, I can. I wonder if I can stomp Cheep Cheeps out of the water, because that would also be a change from SMB1. And I feel like I should be able to, and that's something that would make the mechanics work, especially if you have a lot of spawns come in from a water level. Yeah. Okay. Missing a few objects there, of course, but we'll take it. Yeah, only 10 seconds because I was too low on the flag. Here's another thing that I often forget about SMB1 is that these do not operate as semi-solids. The platforms are actually platforms, which you would think would be just second nature to me given how long I've known this game, but like I said, Mario Maker plays so many tricks on your memory. And so let's get out of here. Yeah, the dash doesn't feel as slippery as in the original either. There's, whoops, quite a lot that is altered. As I was saying, you only get points once off the Paratroopa. Okay, we'd better item up here. I'll take it. Now, is the star preserved once I take the flag? It is not. Now, can I actually bop anything underwater? Yes, I can. Once again, that would be another thing that's new to this engine, which... Oh, could have gone for a Koopa chain down here. Nope, 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 bad idea. Okay. Yep. trying to go for the shell kill down below and just wasn't really watching my spacing. Of course, I was adjusting to the bounce onto Koopa underwater, which itself is quite different and is different from Maker as well, I think. Mario Maker doesn't do quite the same thing either. So yeah, no number 1 finishes yet. The record so far is number 2. You've seen Cosmic play Mario Maker, and he keeps treating the mushroom platforms as solids. Yeah, I'm not really surprised that that's what you would do. There are a lot of those Maker differences that always throw me off as well. Particularly with things like the Yoshi dismount, because you have Super Mario World following the NSMBU physics for Yoshi, despite the differences in how Yoshi works, and a lot of that throws me off all the time. A lot of the things with item handling as well, and also power-up progression in terms of the Tier 2 power-ups bouncing you back into a mushroom state rather than a small state. You know, things like that. Whoops, total miss. Just, okay, very sloppy this run. This is not a good start. And the thing about games like this is that initial conditions really do matter in ways that you don't necessarily recognize until you're much further along. And I have almost no coins either. Yeah, kind of a terrible run. I don't expect a good finish. That's okay, we'll actually get some bounces here. Not something that's been happening often, given how frequently I just come through this segment with a star. But getting consecutive bounces all the way to a +7 on the clock is actually pretty useful. So maybe I don't want to be getting a star all the time and blasting through there when I am in the initial stages of just building time. Falling into a one-tile gap, not something I do well in any game. And is my sound dead again? I think it is. Okay. That's okay. I'll fix it up after this match. Yeah, it's kind of too bad it has been glitching out today. It had been behaving around me lately, and it's possible I got a bit complacent about that. But yeah, we'll get the sound back online after I have wrapped up this match here. And hopefully that's not something that's going to be too persistent an issue. Also, hopefully not just a result of having recently updated OBS and possibly making things worse on the broadcast side. Okay. What do we got here? Same old flower. Whoops. Do need a bit of a dash to get there with the hidden meter. Whoops. Lost it almost immediately. Yeah, kind of interesting that I've got into the top 8 with how badly I've been playing. I've been building up a fair bit of time at least, and that's important. Also getting away with constantly holding down the run button here in a way that I usually wouldn't in SMB1. Going back to SMB1, I find that I actually have to let up on the run button quite a lot just to adjust for, you know, getting used to the physics again. Let's do water since we have the fire flower. Start sending bloopers into the other levels. That would be pretty helpful. Yeah, actually, having the power of fire going into water seems like something that's a fairly unique tactical interaction that you would not really be able to do otherwise. And I guess that's why some people would choose to go for the castles as well, so they could start sending Bowser to their opponents. I have to remember to actually use the attack strategy at some point, given that it's something that you can get a lot of mileage out of in Tetris 99. It was a big part of the metagame. in terms of paying attention to your opponents and learning attack timings and so on. Now, given that I'm not playing this on a touchscreen, I don't know if you can individually target opponents with a tap the way that you can in Tetris 99. Not that I ever really used that much, given how small the squares tended to be on the handheld display. Okay. Doing fine here. Blooper was totally in the way. Okay, let's grab a power-up. Bad time for Bowser. Bad time for Bowser, but let's try to bop him from below and see. Oh, no, that's not an instant kill by any means. Let's just skip him. And let's not skip him. Okay, let me fix the sound. I'll be right back. 2020. Give me one moment. Yep, probably just a CPU running hot. Don't know why it's unusually bad today. Because looking at some of the stats on my computer side, it is doing unusually bad. And we've got a bit of a communication error here as well, so just give me a moment. Yeah, sending hammers would be good if we get up to the hammers once we get into World 3 and the like. Now, I don't know what the special battle is yet. I am kind of curious, though, so let's try it. What is special battle? Ah, okay, so it is a predetermined seed. Oh, let's just try it. And it's going to match pretty quickly as well, of course. But yeah, we'll see if my stream actually holds up. The performance today is really not up to its usual level, so. Okay. This is a bit of an unorthodox start in 1-3. Haven't really seen that yet, but oh, I see, because, you know, we're playing the predetermined mode. That's why. Let's not be too risky here. Yeah, it looks like the idea should be to get over to the enemies as aggressively as possible. Oops. Bit of a miss. And pretty pathetic 3 seconds off the flag. Yeah, this is one of those instances where I should be letting up a bit on the dash. Okay. Really did want to keep that flower for Bowser purposes. I think I should try to roll it. Okay, bad idea there. I spoiled the use of the POW before I really needed it. I feel like I do want some kind of insurance here. Ah, there we go. Get rid of Bowser. Really way down in coins, but maybe that'll be worth it, given that I'm already in 6th position. Okay. Oh, wow. Keep forgetting about stuff like that. Okay. Oh. We'd better get some security in here. And... okay, that's gonna bank up some time. Possibly useful. Yeah, as you can see, I don't remember this one very well. If I keep on chaining, just stay alive, I should be mostly fine. Also, everybody's attacking me. I should actually be reflecting against them both when it's a bit of a 1-on-2 here. Could be that they're set to lowest time, and that lowest time is currently me. That's one possibility I've definitely considered here. Oh, whoops. And that's it. Second place. Okay, not the best way to go, but looks like the field actually thinned out pretty quickly in the special battle there. Maybe just from people having trouble with the 1-3 start. I kind of like the variety introduced by this. I will probably do a bit more of it while the event lasts. But yeah, do continue to let me know how audio and video are going. Looks like I do have a little bit of video lag in the current build of OBS, and that's something I'll have to look into before the next stream. And yeah, okay, a bit of a different start actually, but you have a slightly different initial condition here as well, and I guess one thing that differentiates this from the standard battle is that you also... Whoops. One thing that differentiates this from the standard battle is, I guess, that you also can't just start with a custom item bank. Not that I've been taking advantage of that. Okay. And of course, the 1-4 start is going to put some Bowsers on field right away. I think I pretty much have to skip them unless I can POW them or grab a star. Oh, POW is very convenient there. Almost too convenient. Okay, let's clear out here so I can grab the mushroom. Yeah, that was a bit of an RNG save from the POW block there. Not that I'm going to complain about it. Okay. Oh, whoops. Huh. So much for that. And, yeah. Some accuracy issues, as you can see. You were livid when they announced this less than a year after taking down Inferno Plus's Mario Royale fan game. I don't think I was aware of that, but I don't really follow the hack scene very closely. And Lecter, you're saying something about being about 30 seconds behind? 30 seconds behind... How? Is it like an audio sync thing, or what's going on? Yeah, because I've got some pretty bad video lag, I think, that is unusual on my end, but I don't know if that's something that is coming through on the stream as well. Anyway, 2-4, not something I had previously unlocked. I do kind of wonder if playing these levels in this mode unlock them in the standard mode, but... hard to tell. I'm guessing they don't, otherwise I would have seen more of these already. Whoops. So yeah, it's not a totally preset order. I guess it's a preset pool that it rotates between. You know, there's still some element of randomization. Oh, come on. That was unfortunate. But yeah, if the issues persist, I'll probably do some kind of reset on the stream, because my streaming machine is running unusually hot today. And probably is just some kind of memory issue, but I'll have to figure that out. Okay. Yeah, probably just something from my browser tabs, actually, just causing issues that had not been addressed. Oh, Lecter, you have lag on your end because you're on mobile. I see, okay. You know, Lecter, when you said that, I just had this image of you climbing your local mountain from your base camp in the woods so you can watch me play Mario 35. In fact, I think I have a very clear image of what that looks like. Okay. Let's bump the Koopa here. Nope, let's not bump the Koopa. Whoops. Let's really not bump the Koopa. Okay. Kind of wish my secrets knowledge were in much better shape, given how long it's been since I played this. One thing I really do wish they would bring to the Switch, by the way, is NES Remix. Because NES Remix, I did play both 1 and 2 on the Wii U, and of course there was an Ultimate NES Remix compilation that was made for 3DS. But one of the things that NES Remix does is, using its kind of WarioWare style minigames, it teaches you almost all the secrets in the games that it features. Like, there are modes in NES Remix that are essentially all about showing you every infinite one-up location, every invisible block location. And okay, let's actually power up here. And hey, Lupin Snoop. Lupin Snoop, I kind of have my eyes on a level right now. I'll answer your question in just a second. But yeah, the physics are not quite the same as SMB1, but they're also not the Maker physics. There are a couple of important changes, including some changes to enemy interactions that didn't exist in SMB1. A couple of other minor modifications, like certain power-ups being newly progressive because previously they were not actually reachable as progressive power-ups anyway. The fact that you can interact with Cheep Cheeps and Bloopers in the ground-level overworld. But yeah, NES Remix is absolutely fantastic. It actually opened my eyes to a lot of the NES games that I had kind of used to write off. Now, can I actually jump on Cheep Cheeps here? Because you can't in the original. But I feel like I should be able to if I can actually just catch one of these instead of, you know, paying attention to the game. Yeah, I can't really catch one of these right now, though. It's surprisingly tricky to do so. And this is one level where I'd want to have a Fire Flower just so I can... Oh, you totally can. Great, 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 great. Okay. I should not take stupid risks, and I should power up. But don't give me a POW. Don't give... Okay, Flower's great. Yeah, but Lupin Snoop, what I'm saying is that the very first mushroom in 1-1 is implemented as a progressive power-up, even though you would never ever see it that way in the NES version. And yes, you're right that all of them follow progressive logic originally. And that the Fire Flower is actually a massive power spike in the original game. Oh, no, I wanted to take a Fire Flower and blow up the Bowser down here. I just had an absolutely dreadful landing. Let's just go for the axe and get out of here. Now, the axe kill on Bowser, I wonder if the axe kill on Bowser spawns Bowser towards your opponent. That's something I don't really know. I'm gonna try to fight off my attacker. He's on no coins, and he's dead. And so it's just final two here. Now, I'm very low on time. Oh. No, I'm very low on time. I need to... We'll do a shell kick here. Nope. Terrible. Okay. Okay, gotta back up some time. Doing better, doing better. Of course, can't do a shell kick when I'm wearing a star, that's fine. Yeah. More shell kicks the better, I think, in this segment here. I better grab a power-up. Now, he's still on a bank of over 100 coins, I think, so I've got a bit of a disadvantage coming in here. And he's dead. I got him. So that is my first victory. Hey, let's screenshot that. So that's in the special mode. Gonna be a pretty considerable bonus over here. Just going to maybe grab a few more screenshots for posterity, maybe even a few more screenshots for posterity. I can now access coin ranking from the main menu. It's a competition that tracks the highest number of collected coins in each battle. Reset in each period. I'm guessing probably 24-hour period. I'm not really sure. And yeah, Electrodude, that is the nickname that I use, so to speak. And yeah, doing all right here. And that was about a 5-minute match. Seems about right. Okay, let's go back to the main mode. Although coin ranking, what is coin ranking? Let's take a look. New coin ranking has begun. Okay, still a long ways to go. I see, so that's the period over which it resets, and you can eventually hit L and R to change the week display and work your way up to the top tier, so. Yeah, just one posted result over here. And NES Remix, Aleph, rather, you were saying it got you into Wario's Woods. I mean, it got me into a lot of stuff. It got me into Clu Clu Land. It got me into Wrecking Crew, rather. Just a lot of things that I hadn't taken a look at or taken seriously in a very long time. So yeah, not doing well in the standard mode so far, but I think it has only really begun to start tracking, so. Interesting that it doesn't track retroactively, then. But yeah, let's go back to the standard battle and unlock more stuff. And yeah, Loop and Snoop, since you 100% have the Nintendo Switch Online, it is free with Nintendo Switch Online, at least until March. And it looks like they're saying they'll take it down after the end of March, but Tetris 99, you'll recall, was actually something that was upgraded with a freemium model after its initial period of activity. So I don't know if they'll do that with this one. Because, of course, you don't have quite the same possibilities for some kind of collectibles grind like you would have with all the themes and backgrounds that you see in Tetris 99. I mean, Tetris kind of lends itself very naturally to things like collectible cosmetics. Here, not so much, so it may just be sort of this limited anniversary party game while they still have a very active multiplayer scene. And yeah, it is a lot of fun, though. And much more relaxed than Tetris 99. As I was starting to say earlier in the stream, I noticed my audio is gone again, but yeah, I don't have a very good sense of my Mario skill level in that, you know, I feel like I'm often a very sloppy player, and yet I guess the things that we take for granted in Mario Maker when it comes to, you know, kind of low expert, high super expert around the 1 to 2% comfort range. I mean, it is, at the end of the day, still 1 to 2%, and it might not feel particularly skilled or elite on our part, but compared to a casual base, it is still something. I'm always just surprised at how well I do in the Ninja speedruns, for instance, where I'm just not a speedrun player at all, and I just kind of fumble about and blindly find my own route and such, and I still end up like top 2 or 3% pretty consistently. And it's one of those things where I think, you know, like, after a while you play enough Mario to, and you know enough about Mario to kind of perceive yourself as a bad player or as a very average player. And then relative to the kind of player base that gets drawn in by something free to play, you realize, okay, I actually can make a decent run at number 1. And yeah, Mario Maker, I guess it technically is the hardest Mario game in existence in some ways. I mean, you know, in an official sense. I don't really know enough about the ROM hacking scene to say how that compares to a lot of the more notorious Kaizo hacks, for instance, but in the sense that Mario Maker gives us a shared rule set to work with, though, and that... Whoops. Terrible way to go, just bumping against the side of the platform, which is one of those things unique to SMB1 physics that I occasionally forget, just in terms of things that we read as semi-solids, not reading and working the same way. Okay, so that was bad. Let's, let's fix the audio. No, audio's going. Okay, let's just go on. Do I remember Fun-2? As in, this wasn't fun enough, so I added a whole lot of spikes. Is that the thing you're talking about, Luke? And, yeah, I guess it's kind of true that, you know, the sort of average Mario Maker experience, like, don't hurt me, send me stuff that's over 0.5%. Like, that's still 0.5%. And if you're coming into this as somebody who just plays 20-second speedruns and refreshing levels all day, then yeah, you are going to get killed by the first Goomba. But as I was saying at the very beginning of this stream, though, it is kind of interesting that the skill set that seems to be particular to the metagame of Mario 35 is not really a one-to-one match with what we typically associate with, you know, advanced or good Mario play. In that it is not about just speeding through everything with high precision. It is much more about kind of budgeting in a way. Like, I mean, you still have to be fairly precise about landing on things, but the skill set here is much more about, like, sort of resource management in some ways. And where you are allowed to go slow, which is something that I find is a bit of a lost art in Mario Maker in particular, where Mario Maker is just always so fixated on clearing, just by the very nature of its structure, and that, you know, clearing the courses and doing it quickly and doing it precisely isn't really the thing that's going to get you out of trouble here. I mean, it is very much about playing aggressively and getting the kills off enemies, which you normally don't have that much of an incentive to do outside of high scores. And I think that's what makes this game feel actually so relaxed, even when you get into the top 2 or 3, that, you know, you are allowed to take a bit of a traditional stop-and-go pacing, which a lot of these games were designed around to begin with. And that's kind of a lost art in Nintendo-style design that I think gets a bit lost at a shuffle when it comes to the way that people approach things like Mario Maker, for instance. That's, you know, they're only really kind of thinking about difficulty or speed along one axis, whereas Nintendo, in the original games, in the official levels, actually leaves room for a lot of different vectors of skill, a lot of different kinds of skill sets and play styles. And it's kind of like this is doing the equivalent of going for... encouraging you to go for score again, which has not really been seen in a long time. Let's grab the flower from this side. Warp zone on this side. And yeah... like, the thing about playing a lot of traditional levels that kind of feel off in a way and don't quite get it in terms of flow and pacing and difficulty tuning and such is that it really gives you an appreciation for the nuances in a lot of Nintendo's original designs in terms of how many things kind of don't really go appreciated, and don't really even go appreciated by expert players specifically, because they're always so focused on speed, just given that, you know, that's been traditionally such a standardized measure of skill. Okay, we are pretty much at the 400-second cap here, almost, so that's going to be a nice generous bank to work with as we get into the final 10 or so. And yeah, I'm just going to cap it at 400 seconds, so at this point I should change my focus to coins whenever I can. I mean, I should still try to maintain a full bank, but maintaining a full bank is not so much my priority here. I should kind of build up a safety net as soon as I can get out of here anyway. Yeah, so I can play cautiously, I can stay alive, I can build up a safety net, and just mostly fixate on items and coins, because I'm doing fairly well at the moment. I can also focus on the attacking game. I've got 2 attackers right now, so doing a 1-on-2 I think is probably... I've got 3 attackers, so going 1-on-3 is probably not a bad idea, depending on how the distribution works. Also, spamming the Fire Flower is not too bad, because it doesn't matter if I gain lower increments of time. Oh, I should have gone for the pipe, actually. Specifically to build coins. Yeah, kind of interesting to get into that stage of the game where you hit the 400-second cap and then start switching into coin mode. That's something I hadn't had the luxury of doing previously, because on previous runs I was consistently low on time. But yeah, Loop, the way that it's balanced, at least from what I've seen of other streams, is that when you get down to the final 2, there is a sudden death where the clock accelerates. And so there is an incentive to build up as much of a bank of time as possible and to kind of build up resources. And yeah, going to be a somewhat irritating shell bounce over there. Okay. Oh, that was a terrible way to go. You've all seen me fail edge jumps endlessly before, and so that is somewhat familiar to me. Could have gone better. And yeah, I am trying to beat my opponents with enemy spam, but that was not the way to go about it. So let's maybe move on from that and try to do better. Yeah, that was not a proud finish. I will be the first one to admit. So, inside the game when you are playing the levels, what the coins do is you can spend 20 coins at a time for a random power-up. Could be Fire Flower, could be Star. We've also gotten the POW block for a screen clear. When you are out of the game, the coins that kind of build up outside the level seem to be things that you can spend towards giving yourself a starting power-up as some kind of crutch. I have not been using that yet, so I don't know precisely. It looks like one person dropped out, probably from a DC. But yeah, so I kind of took the right approach in a previous level, and I just totally squandered it. In terms of being in a very comfortable position resource-wise and just falling into a pit. But that's just how we play, I guess. Okay. And yeah, sometimes the shell deflections off-screen throw me off as well. I should have gotten a Star there, but that's okay. We're more worried about time, and so consecutive bounces are going to be a little more useful here. If I can land them a little more precisely. But yeah, you can see how different the high bounce is from SMB1 physics. Also, Koopas are only good for the first hit. And yeah, this is kind of a perilous situation to be in. We'll just take out that stack all at once and hope for the power-up in 1-2. Okay. I don't know how useful a starting Star is. It's a pretty big coin expenditure, so... My approach to this so far is that I think for the coins for the starting items, it's a better idea to save them until I get better at the game. Because, you know, the reason I'm losing right now is not initial conditions. It's, I'm losing mainly to randomly falling down pits in a late game. And so, like, if I start getting better at this, and if I start going for things like win streaks, then that's when I might want to start playing the game of getting the initial power-ups down. Oh, whoops. Come on. Let's not spend too much time on this. I need to get some kills. Okay. And yeah, that's why I'm kind of banking up coins here for the time being as well, instead of just going straight for a flower. If I draw something like a water level, though, it would be a good idea to spend a power-up also just for safety in situations like this, where the next power-up may not be in store for some time. Well, except right here, of course. Yeah, keep forgetting that I can't just jump through to platforms. A lot of bad maker habits getting me into trouble here. Okay. Yeah, what else will I use coins for in the main menu? Yeah, that's true. That's true. I do have a pretty big bank at this point, but yeah, actually kind of interesting that with the initial selection, that the flower costs more than a star because it's more useful in the long term. Starting with a star, though, means that, you know, like, you do have a bit of time pressure towards skipping the initial mushroom, and I don't think that's necessarily the best idea. But that's okay. Yeah, I probably should start using the power-ups, but I'll do a few more rounds first and see how it goes. And death pits are my kryptonite? Yes, they are. And they always have been. I mean, I do lose to imprecision all the time in Mario Maker as well. It's more that I think I cover for that deficiency with other skills, other ways of reading the level every now and then, but I feel like I get away with a lot of stuff that I wind up using to clear levels that I ordinarily wouldn't be able to. Okay. Whoops. Okay, gonna get the plus 20 here. You actually do start out with very little time. You have to build up the bank nice and early through bounces, if possible. Just gonna wait for the shell here. I think that's ideal. Want to kick it from the correct side. Sure, let's get a star. Yeah, I probably should have gone with a shell kick just for time purposes, in fact, but I haven't quite paid attention to the scoring of a shell kick, though, and whether it is better than running through things with a star. Okay. Yeah, I guess you would grab time early relative to the level, but there isn't that much of an incentive to just speed through things quickly, right? Like, you don't get that much of a time bonus from the actual clear. I mean, if you hit the top of the flag, I think that just gives you 20 seconds, and so it's not a huge incentive. Let's go bounces, actually. Okay. But yeah, it seems like the name of the game here is just to maximize throughput. Like, you want to just kill as quickly as you can, and so... But there is an incentive to prefer consecutive bounces over things like flower shots when you can do it, just given how much more time you get. But I should be killing everything I can whenever I can. Yeah, actually, you're quite right in terms of getting the redundant 15 seconds off of the first power-up. That's definitely one approach to consider. That's something I might do going into the next run, just to get that early advantage going. Yeah, it's kind of neat to just figure out an undeveloped metagame like this on the fly and just gradually understand it and figure out what works. Okay. Amassing a bit more time here. And yeah, I was hoping to do a shell kick there, but a little bit off in the spacing. Okay. Probably should just go for the star here, I think. Okay. You know what, yeah, let's just kill everything here. Take advantage of the density. It puts me over the 200-second mark, which is useful. And sound dead again? Okay, yeah. Yeah, I hope it's not the OBS version upgrade that did this, because that would be a bit of a pain in terms of why my stream performance is just unusually poor today. But that's okay, we'll try to get that back in order once more between games. And yeah. Yeah, hopefully won't have to restart the stream for it. That's definitely one possibility if things persist. But we'll see. Whoops. Okay, let's spend some coins. Oh, okay, we'll take it. And let's not fall into the pit. Look at how much more reasonable the pipe spawn timings are compared to Mario Maker, where they just take forever. Oh hey, we'll take that too. Except it's not really going to do much for me here, given that the star does expire at the end of the level. So that was just a bit of a coin expenditure, but... Okay. Now, I only have enough coins for 4 items at this point. I should probably stock up a bit. And yeah, the shell does chain in the same way as jumps. So there is kind of an incentive to not just use the star everywhere if I do need the time. Okay. Probably should take greater advantage of this star here. Okay. Pretty decent bank as I get into the final 3. I see that the remaining opponents are actually fairly low in coins as well, in fact. They don't have much of a buffer to work with, so that's one advantage that I do have over them. If I'm correct in understanding that the coin indicators on your opponents are multiples of 20. Let's not fall down the pit. Okay. Have to remember how the platforms work in this game, including the edge of this platform here. Okay, flower is going to be useful. Just have to be cautious, I think. I think my greatest enemy here is just falling. And so I just need to try to spam my way through. Now, I wonder, yeah, it looks like from the animation that when you stomp on a Koopa, obviously you only get time off of the first stomp, even if it is on a Koopa with wings. But it seems like the first stomp is also enough to send a Koopa to your opponent. So, he's going 2-4 in the warp zone. I can actually see that out of the corner of my eye. And we may be in for a lengthy match here, depending on when things like sudden death begin to kick in. Should be worth the... I was hoping to Yeah, 15 seconds, okay. As long as I can get the flower within 15 seconds. I'm not too worried about that. Okay. Fine so far. And I've got a much more comfortable bank of coins, so as long as I don't fall into pits, I'm okay. I think I'm actually in decent shape. Nope, that did not go as planned. Okay. Okay, this is... How? Okay, no, we'll take that. That went badly, but... That's okay. We'll just get into the warp zone. He's got a water level going here. I'm just going to get back into 1-1 for safety. And... yeah. Timer is running much faster. So... I should focus on improving the clock as much as possible at this point. That includes getting the power-ups, of course. Shell kicks will be especially useful if I can get them. Okay. But again, should just maximize throughput here. And... yeah, just need to stay afloat. I've got a significantly more comfortable item bank, and so just need to not die. Ooh, hammers. Yeah, so... okay. That was a very dangerous situation. Okay. That's why it helps to have an item bank, so I can re-roll like that and just get hammers back over onto his side. And come on. Kind of want to skip the hammer over here. Just need to stay afloat. Maximizing throughput as being something from programming? Well, I mean, it could also just be flow control, you know, like fluid mechanics. Okay. Just want to build up time. So every time advantage I can secure is going to be good for me here. Don't know if I should be, perhaps, trying to go fast here. The clock's running fast enough now, though, that my subjective perception of 15 seconds is not going to be what gives me a plus 15 back, so shouldn't spend too long trying to grab power-ups. Consecutive bounces are the key. Okay. Not great. But... yeah, I need time more desperately than I need power-ups. However, he's dead. Got him. Yeah, he's been low in money the whole time. I had a decent advantage of at least 1 or 2 power-ups pretty consistently. Yay, okay. I'm not going to keep all these screenshots, I'm just kind of waiting for the bonuses to rack up. Don't know when they're going to be finished. It's going to keep going. Yeah, going to have to clear out my files a little bit afterwards, but... that is my first standard win, which is nice. So we're technically on 2 wins now, 1 in the special mode, 1 in the standard. And... yeah, let's just do more. Posted to Twitter. Now, sound is dead, by the way. Let me just fix that quickly. It's been blinking on and off the whole time. I actually don't have Twitter linked up to my Switch, and should kind of do that at some point with a dummy account or something. And yeah, that's true, Loop. I do that all the time when it comes to capturing something that I might have missed in terms of grabbing the 30-second video in the capture mode. It does mess a little bit with the order and the timestamps, so one is fussy about that sort of thing, but let me just get audio. And oh, communication error has occurred. Oh, I hope it actually registered my number 1. Hang on. It would have been quite bad if it didn't. Yeah, no, it registered that I'm at level 30, so that should be correct. Okay, that got me from B to A. Let's go back and do some more, and let's actually do the starting power-up now that I've proven that I can win without it. Sure, let's go starting flower, actually, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I kind of miss Miiverse, actually. That I mean, I just never bothered to really get a Twitter account active that was very Nintendo-specific, and I don't want to be spamming people in any of my standard social networks. The great thing about Miiverse was that, yeah, it didn't really have much reach outside of the Nintendo bubble, but the thing is, you knew that all of the people you were broadcasting to were actually engaged in the content. And I mean, I'm probably just behind the times on this score, but I think I just vastly prefer that to something like integration with the existing services. Particularly because, like, everybody has, in their various games, just had to hack together an independent solution to things like comments, like how Mario Maker has one infrastructure and Splatoon has another one, in terms of the comment art tools and the posting mechanism and such, because as I understand it, Splatoon was actually something dependent on Twitter integration, in Splatoon 2 anyway. And really the practical result of that was just that I stopped doing any kind of Splatfest artwork, because I could not be bothered. But yeah, I don't really spend any time on video game social media, to be honest. I probably should for the sake of the channel, but it's just one of those things where Twitch is plenty to deal with already. But yeah, I know that, you know, people use it for cross-promotion all the time. And so Loop, the reason that I'm always in 1 and 2 is because everybody in this game is still unlocking it. As you can see from the selection screen, you can unlock your starting levels all the way up to 8-4. There are certainly enough spaces for it. But I think it works on like a Mario Kart style draw system, where you have an initial selection that is determined by the player pool, and because a lot of players are in this on day 1, they will not have unlocked a lot of starting choices yet. So whereas I certainly have the option to start as late as World 3, at least now I do, a lot of people won't have that. Oh, somebody's got some water play going on. And okay. And of course, getting used to the momentum in this game is going to mess me up with Mario Maker next time I dip into that, I'm sure. And, yeah, 2-3, let's do that. Actually, this is a good choice, given that Fire Flower allows me to work quite a bit with the Cheep Cheeps. Oh, whoops. So much for that. It's okay. We can get this. Not really getting any snipes here. And that's how I lose in a top 4. How do I unlock new levels? I think to unlock new levels, you need to progress through them in the standard games, but because everybody is just taking the Warp Zone out of 1-2, I think that's why they just kind of keep cycling back, because the Warp Zone, rather than taking you to Worlds 2, 3, and 4, takes you to some of the existing level selection that's available in the player pool. And so, yeah, I mean, you know, what we could do is just do 2-4 as the starting selection. I wonder what the flags are, actually. The flags must be the number of games you've played with that as the starter. Let's start with 3-1 if we can. So that'll be my preference, but it probably won't draw that preference simply because not a lot of people have unlocked it. But if it is based on something like a Mario Kart roll, then there is a chance that that will be picked. And we can see, because I can imagine that having early Hammer Brothers is something that is going to cull the field quite a bit. But as you can see, no effect here. And okay, it's going to get that initial 15. Whoops, so much for that. That's okay, just going to bank up time. Kind of keeping an eye on my time coming out of my first course clear, just in terms of whether I'm on par. Also, I've got a lot of attackers incoming. That's I should deflect back against them again to maximize my throughput. Should have gone for this guy here. Too late now. Having lots of attackers is nice, actually. It allows me to build up really quickly. And it may even allow me to score a bunch of KOs right away. You'll see on the KO board that it actually highlights in orange the KOs that were inflicted by me, if I understand it correctly. And so yeah, having had a huge incoming wave of attackers was in fact to my great advantage. And yeah, that brings us over to about 300 seconds already. And so, decent advantage. I'm sure I'll squander it somehow, but for the time being, we'll stick with that. I have a pretty generous bank. Would have preferred a more durable item, but we'll have one coming very shortly here. Just grab a bit of damage insurance. And okay, here we are. Okay, that was a nice jump that I didn't think I would make. Always love to have red Koopas in terms of actually staying available. Bit risky of me to play around here when I'm Small Mario, but we'll deal with that accordingly. And yeah, got a pretty generous buffer at this point. Let's grab a power-up just for safety. Okay, star, I'll take it. And a star while I'm small here is good too, because I don't need to worry about the slide. Let's just do some enemy spam. Grab the... oh, I can't grab the 1-up. At least not here. Best if I get a bit of safety again. Okay. Mushroom. The clock near the cap of 400 at this point, which is going to be helpful as I get into the final 6. Let's go World 2. And yeah, I do agree with trying to draw 3-1 right away as my starting pick, just to get hammers on the board. But that's just too low probability right now to be drawn. I mean, it would be nice to see that happen, but... Actually, no, I wonder if the stars now, because I've not played that many matches, I wonder if the stars that are on top of the starting levels tells you what other players' selections are, or rather how available those choices are. If that's not clear, I'll make that clear when I get back to the selection board. Because yeah, there were numbers and stars that were over each of the possible courses you could select, And I think maybe that is a measure of its availability to other players, so you know what the chance of drawing them is. Whoops. Okay, top 3. Let's just get out of here. Now, should I go for the guy attacking me? I'm still... Yeah, I'm on attackers, actually. I'm still fine. I've got enough of a bank here that I should... Let's go for time like that. Go for spam. And... Whoops. Wasn't expecting that deflection. Also notice the interaction between the Goomba and a trampoline. There's a little bit of Maker-style logic going on in this game, in many ways. In terms of a lot of original interactions. Okay, so still down to the final 3, right? Yeah. The other guy's just not being attacked. Ah, okay. Final 2. And he's got a full bank of at least 5 power-ups as well, so... should take advantage of the fact that I am near the 400 second cap and just try to time him out. Okay. Doing fine. I think the idea here is to play cautiously. Although I also want to maximize the damage that I have against my opponent. Just to bury him a little bit in spam. Whoa, look at that Koopa coming out from the left side there. Glad I have the Fire Flower available for the Piranha Plant as well. Okay. Yeah, kind of interesting that I actually feel like I have a decent chance to win from time to time here. Given that in Tetris 99 I finished as high as number 2 a number of times, but I've never finished as high as number 1. And part of it is because in Tetris 99, when you come down to the final 2 players in a bit of a dueling situation, the better Tetris player really does win. Because, you know, classic 1 versus Tetris, you're just not going to survive against somebody who knows how to play, right? Like, you can get as far as, you know, the top 2 or 3 in Tetris 99 with a little bit of luck and with well-timed attacks and playing the metagame well, but you're not going to beat the last opponent unless you actually know how to play Tetris. And so yeah, kind of nice to have this be something that is a little more tractable with my skill set, even though that guy is just sort of interminably at a full bank of power-ups as well, and so I don't know. I think maybe the idea here, as he's sending tons of Koopas my way, is to draw something like a castle and send him some Bowsers, or something of that nature, or, you know, send him water enemies or hammers or something else that could turn the advantage. So maybe I should be going for course clears so I can start drawing things that are a little out of the ordinary. Okay. Yeah, really it looks like we're just both in a very secure position. I mean, he's also on my opponent's board in 1-2 right now. Very similar location. Just not really about to choke anytime soon. I feel like if I die, it is likely going to be to a choke. Oh. And nope. I'm gonna live. So yeah, that's gonna be yet another number 1. Okay, let's let this thing pile up. Yeah, pretty gentle finish near the end there. Level up. And interesting that I did not score the KO on number 2 at the end. I think he probably just took himself out. Maybe it only registers the KO if it's one of your enemies that you send over to the other board that takes them out. I think that's probably the case. Let's do more. And thank you for the GG. And yeah, I'm going to stick with 3-1 as my starting selection. I'm making enough per game, actually, that I have a surplus. Which means that there's no particular disadvantage to just using the Fire Flower repeatedly, because I'm definitely making more than 50 even when I'm doing badly. So let's just go game start. And let's see how it goes. Yeah, I should probably start logging my wins in my stream title, but I can make changes like that after the fact. Oh, whoops. Yeah, bad start. It's okay. We get the flower back right away. Okay, kind of slipping up a bit too much early here. Let's fix some of that up. And get this flower right away. Yeah, not in great shape right now, but I'm just going to follow the shell. Whoops. Yeah, some of the deflection ranges on a shell sometimes do throw me off a little bit. Given that it seems like this engine here probably has its own suite of spawning and despawning rules that are slightly different from everything else, and which I need to work around. And it's not like I knew the original spawning rules in SMP1 very concretely to begin with, but there are definitely a few changes here, especially when it comes to shell deflections off the edge of the screen. Yeah, Electrodude, I think it's just the sound's just been coming and going. It's going to be something that I'll need to take a look at on my side, but it's sort of unfortunate that it's glitching so heavily today. Might just need to get a new PC built in at some point and just have a bit better streaming infrastructure, since I've got into this fairly casually, and it's kind of remarkable that I stuck with this long. I'm not going to get that shell deflection. I should have just pelted everything with a flower much earlier. Okay. And yeah, sending other people piranha plants is actually kind of a decent idea. Certainly should be something that I should be paying attention to. I should actually go for most coins just to act as a form of suppression in terms of kind of depleting the bank of people who are in a good position. And yeah, there's still a lot that I need to work out about the stage selection logic that I don't completely understand, but in terms of when it progresses to something that I have chosen and when it progresses to something that does not seem to be the natural sequel to a stage. I think when you go out the standard exit, like when you take the flag or the axe, well, that just happened. But when you take the flag or the axe, the level just rolls you into something that may or may not be randomized from the available selection into player pool. But I'm not clear on that, because then it raises the question of how the unlocks actually happen. Anyway, let me just try to get sound back on quickly once I get back to the main menu. Because when I tap out to do the sound, it tries to kick me from the connection anyway, so I do need to get back into the main menu for this. And yeah, I hope I don't have to do this too repeatedly today. I might just have to leave it and let it blink on and off every now and then, because it has been a bit of a prevailing issue. Okay, so what do we got here? We, yeah, I already had my ranking in the special battle. I think I should just go for more victories in the standard 35. But then, of course, you know, obviously the event is limited. There's a certain incentive to play it up to the weekly period. Try to get up to rank S, but it might make more sense to push that near the end of the period, perhaps. And now, is this day to day or week to week? That's week to week. Also ending on the 5th, I see. Also currently grade A, so let's do some more. And we'll just wait for the match. And here we go. Okay. I think in some sense it doesn't really make sense, especially early in the game, to go after people with the lowest time. And the reason is that if you send enemies to somebody with the lowest time, it allows them to rebuild their bank. Because if you're under time pressure, you kind of want to have enemies on a screen so long as you trust yourself to actually deal with them. Now, if you are in a stage where you're sending Bowsers, for instance, or sending other things that are difficult to deal with, like if people get into World 4 eventually, they'll be sending Spinies, no doubt. But if you're sending, you know, Bowsers, Spinies, Hammers, etc., things that are difficult to deal with, then there's an incentive to take out the people with the lowest time, because they need to stall and they need to dodge. But at this stage of the game, I don't see a reason to do it. Like most coins, you can definitely see why you would want to do it as a form of suppression if somebody is kind of running away with a lead. Or if you are getting down to a fairly narrow field. And attackers, as in Tetris 99, you just use to deflect attackers, but lowest time seems like something that is very specific to the kind of enemies you want to send. Like, if you're sending things that are difficult to deal with, then you'll do it, but otherwise you won't. Like, Piranha Plants, for instance, might be a good choice for them. Whoops. But yeah, just kind of working out the theory at this point. And okay, tap this guy. And on. Okay, wait this one out. And we'll just continue banking, I think. Sometimes you just need a really good attack wave or something else giving you a decent enemy supply in order to build up the time up to the 300s. Whoops. You know, I went out of my way to pick 2 for knowing that it was more dangerous to jump around and thinking that I would go for sending Bowsers or something, and that bit me very quickly. And yeah, Luke, the Mario Maker 1 physics are a huge adjustment, and not only physics, but as I was saying, some of the platform collisions are quite different. Even though this already makes a lot of concessions for the way that other Mario games work in terms of the bounces you get off enemies, in terms of being able to hit Cheep Cheeps in the overworld, etc. Okay, let's just do some more. But yeah, you really notice it actually if you get into any of the water levels that your drop speed in the water levels is very quick. But of course you have to remember too that a lot of the adjustments to physics with the way that Maker, for instance, uses physics derived from a New Soup are kind of built with the expectation of widescreen in mind, right? And that you do have some differences in jumps that are in some ways kind of a function of aspect ratio. And I feel like that's often a very understated difference. Also, just the degree to which, you know, this... In spite of the fact that we all have a habit of just holding down the dash button all the time, it's not a game that was originally designed with that expectation. And I think that's true for a lot of Mario games all the way up to even the New Soup series. Like, by the time you get into New Soup Wii, you definitely have the games tested in such a way that they were, you know, in-house tested against speedrunning techniques and such, but I've been going back to a lot of the older games, you know, Super Mario World, Yoshi's Island, etc. There's a lot of stuff there that, while speedrunners have found how to speedrun it, it's very clearly designed to have a bit of a stop-and-go pacing, and or at least to permit a very stop-and-go pacing. Donkey Kong Country is kind of an interesting study in that, actually, because you have so many sort of forward-moving momentum mechanics in some ways, but it also has an expectation that, you know, platformers are a bit of a stop-and-go experience in certain locations. And okay, what have we got here? Now, I actually have built up my time bank at this point, and so I should be going for coins whenever possible. Oh wow, that was a nice clear. Was not expecting something quite that good. I'm still on random right now. I should go attackers just to get rid of this guy who's being a nuisance with his 4-coin bank. And actually, there's a 3-on-1 on me now, so it's quite possible that I've been targeted by most coins in order to have such a sudden influx of attackers. And that's fine by me. It just means that I can keep my time bank up and get more kills going. Yeah, really kind of interesting in that there's not really that much of a precedent for this specific kind of Mario versus mode. Well, that was a waste of a star. Utter waste of a star. And hey, Hal. And yeah, Hal, the music speeds up even if you've got a massive bank of time, but the thing is, the game speeds up as well, right? So I'd actually only really noticed just now that the specific trigger for the hurry up music kicking in is when you're in a Final 5. Because you pointed that out at exactly the right time. I'd sort of noticed it, you know, in a subtle way in the background, but I hadn't really thought about it as a very specific indicator. Now, I just have 2 attackers that I'm deflecting against right now. I should just do a bit of a bounce back like that. Yeah, I don't really need to grab power-ups at the moment. I actually prefer to just keep my time up with bounces, so just going to bank up coins for the time being unless I draw something like a stage that really does encourage me to be using the power of fire. Really wanted to bounce the Paratroopa on that spot there. That was not going to happen. There's actually multiple Paratroopas stacked on top of each other. But, you know, stacked in the 3D world way, I guess, not in the way that you get in Maker. Okay, that's going to be... Do we want time or coins? Time is fine. I feel like at this point I just need to weigh out my opponents. Got for there. We have multiple attackers, so staying on counterattacks is fine, I think. Yeah, a bit of a weird position on this guy here. I do have enough time to patiently bump him. Not that I really needed that coin, but we can grab a star. And really just send a wave. Only one attacker against me currently. Now that we're in the final 3. He's really low in coins though, as you can see. I think I could probably take him out without too much trouble. Being low in coins means, too, that he may have trouble against things that require power-ups, like Piranha Plants. Okay, no need to deal with dead shells. Yeah, I'm gonna switch to most coins. I am more worried about the guy who's banking coins right now than I am about the guy who's attacking me, so... That's going to be the idea behind that maneuver. Also, the fact that I don't have a way of dealing with Piranha Plants is a bit of a worry now. Okay. And, yeah, I'm gonna lose a bit of star time just with the platforming here, but I am going quite cautiously. And, okay. Yeah, I think surviving is the priority right now. Oh. And that's how you lose. Anyway, to answer some of your questions, Hal, sorry, my eyes were kind of glued to the game just now. Yeah, you start with a small selection of stages, but as you play the game, you kind of encounter more stages as you do them with the standard clears, I think, and also as stages are seeded in from other people in the player pool. The other thing is that if you play the special event mode, that is the second selection from the main menu, it actually gives you a kind of preset rotation of stages, like a preset pool of stages that is still randomized, and that one brings in some of the ones from later in the game. So right now my selection goes all the way up to 3-1, as you can see here. So you don't unlock the entire new world for wins, and yeah, I think, Loop, you're correct in that Special Battle doesn't unlock this, because I did see some things that were later in World 3, if I recall. But yeah, looking at the stats here, I think maybe this is just number of rounds you've played, or that have that starting condition, or maybe just the ones available in the player pool. I don't know. It wouldn't be the ones available in the player pool because, like, obviously you wouldn't have 31 on 1-1. So I think it's maybe just the number of games I've played, which I didn't... Oh, number of times I've visited the stages, maybe. Over all of the plays. That would make more sense. Number of times I've visited the stages in the course of playing this mode. I think that makes considerably more sense in terms of how to interpret that number. And yeah, Hal, I'm not exactly sure how it calculates KOs, but I think it might be from, you know, did the opponent die to an enemy that you sent them? Because if they just jump into a pit of their own volition, like I've been doing repeatedly, then... Yeah, maybe it is a number of clears on the stage, now that you mention it. Difficult to say, because I have no flags on 3-1, but I've encountered other people sending me hammers, which... Actually, no, I've definitely encountered 3-1 because of that trampoline, and so I think I just haven't beaten it. Yeah, that's true. Because I've gotten to the trampoline a few times, and I usually die right there. For no good reason whatsoever. I actually don't want to star because I want to build up time. Yeah, that's what I've discovered, is that early star there, when I want to build up time off bounces, it's actually not what I want to get. At least I don't think so. Okay. Now, okay so far. No attackers currently. Kind of want to go for most coins just to act as a form of suppression. we are. Yeah, might as well build up some coins in the bank. And Koopa will sail all the way over. Yeah, I think, thinking about it carefully, Hal, I'm pretty sure you're right, that it is number of times speed in the stage. Like, the more I think about it, the more that has to be the thing that's actually going on. Okay, I'm gonna skip down here. Just to get the coin bank going. Oh, whoops, forgot the block at the end, but it's because I was speeding through this a bit quickly. Yeah, really interesting how different the incentives are for engaging with the various stage elements. Wanted to grab that, but camera scroll was a little bit aggressive. We have fire, so I'm definitely going to take a swim. Given that we have fire, that looks like a good idea. Also notice that get a 10-second bonus on the clock for going through the warp pipe. Whereas you get up to 20 for taking a flag. So that's something important to note if we run into time trouble at some point. Okay, this is bad. Probably should get a power-up at this point, yeah. Okay, roll a star. Sending Cheep Cheeps everywhere seems to be the way to go here. Whoops. And maybe that will do something useful. Yeah, out of 10 remaining players, my most coins target has a very clear single target right now. And looks like he has a bit of a counterattack going against me as well. So probably set to deflect attackers. Yeah, I'm not doing as well in time as I should be, given how few players are remaining. Usually by now I would want to definitely bank 200 to 300. So that's something to keep in mind. I want to get into some good positions for shell deflections and the like. Yeah, let's just do some shell kickings over here. Okay. Definitely taking out the piranha plants if I can, so I can send them back. And yeah, down to a pretty sedate final 8, I think. And let's just go for the clear. Okay. Now, let's see here. Yeah, just going to be about surviving at this point. Have a clock at 200, which is not that comfortable. But yeah, hell, my audio has been glitching out on me all day. I had a software update to OBS before I got on, and I hope that's not what is just being more processor intensive, because that's usually the issue I run into here. Whoops. Now, I will just need a moment anyway, and so I'll be right back. Let me just exit out of this one. And I'll be back in a few seconds, and I'll reset the audio in the meantime anyway. Okay, should be back on. See you in a moment. I just need a quick interruption. The audio is back. Okay, thank you for holding. And thank you, Electrodude, for joining me for so long. And yeah, we'll just continue with this and see if I can grab a couple of extra wins. How am I doing so far? I have had 3 first place wins. I don't know if that actually includes... I think that does include the win that I got off the special event earlier. So I'm actually just going to take a moment to edit that in my stream title. And also put in an audio notice that it's bugging out like crazy. And then we'll continue. Okay, back in. So yeah, not much of a chance of drawing my 3-1 in the rotation so far, but we'll see if it happens. Okay, just going to have a Fire Flower start. I already have one attacker that has been sent my way. But yeah, I'm just going to stay on random for the time being until we get something like multiple attackers in a mix. Definitely incentivized to take out enemies before they fall into a pit, so if I want to snipe them with a flower that way, that seems helpful. Okay. Okay, let's continue with this and just try to get some bounces. Pretty ordinary game so far. Interesting that you're kind of down to half the field already, so... Yeah, compared to something like Tetris, the early game culls much more quickly. The late game is much more relaxed. Now, in terms of going for enemies versus going for the flag at the end, I think the plus 20 off the flag at the end is actually much more worthwhile, particularly because you're not spending too much time on it. Depending, of course, on whether you're just deliberately stalling. Hey, let's do something about these Koopa shells here. I was really hoping I'd get it clear. There we go. Gets my time up into the 200s. Oops, got a bit stuck there. Nope, that was nearly a disaster. And yeah, I missed the top spot for the 1-up, but that's okay. Doing decently on time, so... except I don't have a way to deal with the Piranha Plant. I think there's probably a certain element of the meta that involves taking some damage boost from time to time if your clock is getting low, and if you have a decent coin bank to work with for items. But we'll see about that. Okay, what do we got here? Oh, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, without the Fire Flower, I don't think I want to go for a swim just yet. With the Fire Flower, however, I am prepared to deal with things like Cheep Cheeps if so necessary. Got a Piranha Plant in there, means I'm not going to touch that spot. And yeah, just gonna bop this from below. Might as well go for the star here. I should have been consistently going for that star more often to begin with. Okay. Doing decently. Almost up to 300 on the clock. And occasionally making some mistakes, but nothing fatal yet. I am a little bit low on coins, at least. Feels like I'm not doing as well as usual in the coin bank. But if we are way up on time, that's something that I can deal with. Also, I guess I've been on random attacks, and we should start targeting the most coins guy just to deplete him a bit, because I'm at a pretty severe disadvantage right now. You died to literal Bowser spam. Well, Loop, you've got plenty of practice with that. I don't see why you're complaining. Okay. Look at that. You actually... I wonder how you can get some kind of consecutive bounce underwater. Like if you... Ooh, look at that. Your big shell kick over there. And... like maybe if you don't press jump or something going into the Goombas. Okay, definitely want to power refresh in this location. Power block is going to be helpful, but not that helpful. Because I need to deal with the blooper in just a moment. Power block, once again, is going to be only mildly helpful. It's okay, having a time bank here is useful. Kind of reluctant to spend even more on power-ups, but I may have to. Because this zone here is becoming a bit of a problem. I'm losing a lot of time without much gain. Yeah, I probably should have just spent an additional 20 there to try to roll a Fire Flower. Yeah, Bowser Spam, it seems like it mostly works to deplete your item bank. Like, you really do need to re-roll a few times to get through it. I mean, you can get through it a couple of different ways with the Star, the POW, and the Fire Flower, but... should be thinking about coins for sure at this point. Okay. At least I'm doing fairly comfortably for time. But I'll go for one of the coin pipes later on in the level, I think. Probably advisable that I do. Oh. There is, of course, this flower over here, as well as the coin block that is beside it. That could be helpful. However, the clock is beginning to accelerate at this point. Oh, whoa. Totally misread that blooper there, okay. Gotta get rid of him. And going to lose access to the 1-up up top. Yeah, gonna roll the power up here for sure. Okay. Yeah, also the lack of much of a turning option in midair is something that's throwing me off in terms of how different that feels. And that you can't really do a midair change of direction, and I keep expecting to, and I think that's part of why I'm taking a few falls that I shouldn't be. Anyway, let's try to draw into something manageable. Let's just go back to 1-1. Okay. Doing okay here. Getting time, getting kills. Doing okay. I should go for coins. Although it's just down to the final two here, and yeah, he's got a huge coin advantage. I'm decent on time, but I don't know if that's going to help me. And he's sending a lot of cheap-cheeps over, so... he's got to stay decently on time. Really tells you to the sparsity of the coins in the original game. It's not something super frequent. Considering that, you know, people have really internalized this idea of Nintendo using coins for gentle indications all the time, and it actually doesn't happen that often in the original. Should have gone for the star there, but oh well. Yeah, starting to get a bit of acceleration here. Also, I noticed that his coin bank is starting to be depleted a little bit, but he is going for Bowser, and so I do need to be mindful of that and keep my Fire Flower at all costs. Because, yeah, he's totally going for Bowser, who is spawned just by touching the axe at the end, and so... Okay, it doesn't take a lot of hits to get rid of him, at least. Now he's down to 1 item's worth of coins, and so I've got a bit of an advantage. Wow, that was very dangerous. That was nearly a disaster. Okay, let's just stay on 1-1. Okay, gonna get rid of Bowser again. Pass him like a hot potato. Time is becoming very accelerated here. So I just need to mind the time as well as I can, I think, and... Yeah, just... oh, should have gone for the star. I think it's a big mistake here not to go for the star. Particularly with losing the flower. Now I've got a huge item advantage, I might as well start to use it a bit. Pow Block got me almost nothing there. Reroll. Okay. Okay, that's good. Can send a lot of the bloopers back, in fact. Definitely hoping for something a little more permanent here. Wow, the flag at the end took out a lot of Cheep Cheeps at once. That's going to be helpful. Okay, blooper has to go. Skip. Okay. Now to be careful with the platform collision on the side. 33 seconds. Yeah. Not a lot of kill potential in this level, unfortunately. And that's going to get me into trouble pretty quickly on the clock. Oh, wow. That's a pretty bad draw over here. Okay. Try to take out a prawn on the left. Go for the flag. And he's gone. And yeah, my decision to take 2-2 or not to loop is very much based on whether I have the Fire Flower. If you have the Fire Flower, I think you should absolutely go for water, just to press the advantage. Okay, so that's win number 4. And... let's go for more. And yeah, we'll just see how this goes. So yeah, I usually do viewer levels in this slot, of course. I'm probably going to move that to tomorrow as a makeup session. I was quite eager to get into this game today, though, just to start to learn it and give it a go. You can definitely tell it's a bit of an evolving metagame already in terms of people getting used to the central ideas and learning how to play it, and also just unlocking the stage selection, which I think is going to have a pretty significant impact on how this plays out in the long term. But yeah. Kind of wonder if eventually, like Tetris 99, if they will have a separate pool for people who have placed first. It seems much easier to place first here than in Tetris 99, though, so I don't know if it makes sense to have something like an Advanced League. But I remember that being something that they did with 99, was that you could earn your way to an Elite League just by winning a standard game, just so, you know, it takes the real Tetris players out of the standard pool. And of course, I've never actually seen that for myself because I've only ever ranked as high as number 2 in Tetris 99, as I was saying earlier. Okay. Let's just get some more stops. Build up that clock. And get down here. I'm gonna go for the star here, I think. Okay. Go for the one up here as well. And start nuking some piranhas. I'm gonna try that strategy of trying to send piranhas to people with lowest time, and then get back into most coins after that. We're not even really at the halfway mark. We're at the halfway mark, rather, in this group. So they're taking a little longer to die all around than some of the groups I've drawn in the past, but... Okay, there we go. Let's just go for the standard flag exit, because I think the standard flag exit is actually better for building time. And it sends me back to 1-1, so yeah, it seems like... I don't really know how the drawing order works when you do a flag finish, but... Also shows you what a big difference power-ups like the Fire Flower make when it comes to surviving in this game. Spend just a lot less time as Small Mario. Anyway, just going to try to do a nice big chain. Oh, that's going to give me a nice convenient Bowser, which I should have been able to anticipate just from reading the meter at the bottom. Somebody had sent Bowser my way. But sending him against multiple attackers is, of course, going to be pretty convenient for me. And yeah, currently I am counterattacking by many attackers. Got a couple of people trying to gang up on me at once. It makes me wonder if I have the lead in coins, perhaps. Okay. I'm gonna send a couple of Bowsers over the board. And that's going to be pretty convenient for me. Down to 12. Oh boy, okay, that's gonna be an issue. Star is gonna be great here. Oh hey, let's try to make it to the other Bowser while I have the star active. It seems like you unlock a new level if you beat it when it comes up. I see. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, so I guess I would have unlocked 3-1 because I beat 2-4 then, right? Or do I unlock 2-4 by beating 2-4? Because I have 3-1 on my initial selection, but I don't have any flags on it, so I wasn't quite sure. But yeah, so basically prioritize clears, and then you can increase your level selection pool. I get it. Prioritize clears for the unfamiliar ones, rather. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see some kind of breakdown of how the drawing algorithm on this actually works, because that's a big mystery to me. Now, having shell kills on Bowser is very nice. Being able to deflect so many attackers is also very nice. Yeah, grabbing the flag at the end just also clears out the enemies that are on screen at a time, as they often do. And so, yeah, absolutely no point in trying to stomp enemies at the end. You should always go straight for the flag, I think. Whoops. Now, I'm pretty high on time right now, which tells me that I should actually go for Coin Bank. It'll also allow me to evade the Bowsers until I'm prepared to deal with them. And yeah, skip right over them, which is kind of interesting because I guess it sort of diffuses them and takes them off the board, and that I didn't actually clear the Bowsers. Yeah, I wonder what a skip like that actually does. It probably just diffused the number of Bowsers that were being ping-ponged back and forth in the wild. Okay. What have we got here? And let's see here. And I'll just be a minutes after I complete this segment. I may have to abort this quickly, actually, but we'll see. We'll see. It looks like we're near the end of this one. Yeah, we'll probably need to develop some kind of protocol for pausing in emergencies for this game. Not that I have an emergency, I'm just saying in the event that I do, but I'm so close to the end here. Let's not go for the castle, actually. Let's just play for safety. And yeah, I may be getting off stream after this round. But we'll see. It's part of why I wasn't running viewer levels today as well, was because I think there was some possibility that I had to abort early. But okay. Let's try to draw into a power-up here. How luck will do, given that we just picked up the mushroom. And yeah, I'll let you know at the end of this round if it's actually feasible for me to continue. But we are in the top 3, 2 opponents remaining, and I am down. I probably should have kept an eye on that and grabbed a power up there. Give me one moment. I'm going to tap out of here for just a second, and I'll see if I'm continuing, because I may have something calling my attention. So, just a moment. But yeah, definitely should have been watching my coin bank there, because I had plenty of a safety margin in terms of being able to bank up more power-ups with a full 400-second clock, and I just wasn't attending to that carefully. So, one moment. Yeah, I actually do have to finish up for today, so... So yeah, I will be taking off rather urgently, actually, so thank you for watching. I will try to plug you into somebody else quickly, but I don't know if I'll have time to actually scan for that. And let me just take a quick peek at who is on. But that will be all from me for this stream. We'll see if we can actually continue with the standard Mario Maker schedule, because it seems like we have a bit of a disruption and a bit of a change in plans. So I will pass you along to someone else. We'll see how that goes. Have a nice day.